Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dan Greer with Leading from the Middle of the Pack, and today we're going to be chatting all about, I don't know, what should we chat about today? Well, today I think we should really chat about like leadership and some of these soft skills and stuff like that, like people skills, and how you get them and some of the best ways to get them. So, cue up theme song. We'll be right back.
The big question is this: how are leaders, like us, who aren't necessarily in a management position, who go out and get our hands dirty, who are ready to answer their calling from God to lead, who are driven to learn and grow, gain the trust and respect of those around us, to actually be heard while not coming across as an authoritative prick? These are the questions, and this is the podcast that will give you the answers. Hi, my name is Dan Greer, and welcome to Leading from the Middle of the Pack.
Awesome. So glad you guys are still here. Well, today we're going to be talking all about soft skills. So what are soft skills? Well, actually, I got to tell you this story first. I was having a conversation the other day with somebody, a teacher. Now, if you know me, like I'm not a super huge fan of teachers in like the education world because they're never got out of school, so they don't know anything in real life. Like they went to school, they got out of school, they went to school again, they got out of school, and then they started teaching at school. And so like some teachers have some real life stuff, but a lot of teachers have like zero real life experience. Like nothing against teachers, not complaining about them because I know everybody feels like teachers are the unsung heroes of the world. Anyways, my point is like uh, they don't have any real life experience. A lot of them. Now, the ones that do make phenomenal teachers, and I'm not saying they don't care, and I'm not saying that they're not great people and that they don't have a huge heart. But a lot of people become teachers because they don't know what else to do, so they become a teacher. My point is, I was having a conversation with one of them, and I said that we were starting up this thing for soft skills, and she like cringed, and I said, "What are you cringing for?" She's like, "We don't use the word soft skills anymore. They're called essential skills because everybody has to have them." I was like, "Well, actually, not everybody has to have soft skills, and not everybody does have soft skills, and a lot of people's soft skills suck, just like yours do, right there, because you want me to accept your cringeness because I use the word soft." Hard skills are completely different. Hard skills are like skills that you master. They're, if you want to drive a truck, that's a hard skill. But dealing with people, whenever you deliver stuff off that truck, that's a soft skill. So today we're going to chat about why soft skills are so important. And yes, I'm going to use the word soft skills. So if you're an educator and you don't like this, I guess you're going to have to get over it or stop listening. Anyways, that's the type of mood I'm in today. My point here is that there is so much to do with soft skills in this world. And so it's one of those things that I just really want to bring up for a little bit. So what are soft skills? Soft skills are being able to talk to people. They're being able to work through situations without getting upset. They're being able to help smooth out different situations, right? So like a good example of a soft skill would be being able to get somebody else to start at 5 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. Or sorry, being able to get a customer that maybe the load didn't get quite delivered right on or loaded right on, to understand that you'll be back to fix it as quick as you can. Those are all soft skills, is like dealing with those types of situations. Another soft skill would just be simply talking to people in general. Like sometimes people who are extremely introverted, you probably are sitting here going, "Dan, you're not an introvert." Well, I can tell you that I'm 100% an introvert in a group that I'm not comfortable in yet. As soon as I get comfortable in a group, whole different story, extremely extroverted. But, or as long as I'm supposed to be on the stage, I'm extremely extroverted. It's kind of weird. Anyways, my point is like soft skills are really important. And so being able to talk to people in a group or in a conversation setting, that's really big as well. And so we really want to talk about like why this is so important to have soft. So one of the things that we're going to talk about today with soft skills is not necessarily like transforming somebody into a leader who's not a leader, but it's going to be talking to those people in general. And so what I like to do is I always go back to my good old Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I really break into that a lot because it's absolutely huge what it is. And so I think that like building a positive relationship is really important. And then the power of smiling is huge. All this stuff comes from him, right? Giving honest, sincere appreciation to people. That's a big one. Like how to criticize and not be hated. If you can do that, it's huge, right? Handling difficult conversations. We all have to handle difficult conversations in different realms and different things, going in different directions. But if you can do it with dignity and with respect and kind of work through some of that stuff, it's huge. How to become a great conversationalist, what we just talked about, right? Influencing others without authority. So doing it without the ability to have authority over them, hiring, firing power, or without your tone being authoritative. Winning people to your way of thinking, right? Leadership through empathy and understanding, motivating, inspiring others, the art of handling complaints and criticism, and then reviewing yourself, like internal review. So as we talk about some of these are some of the most important soft skills that I think that people can have. People skills, right? If you don't like the word soft skills, whatever, people skills. So why are people skills like so important though? Think about this. Because a lot of you are like, Dan, I already got good soft skills. Do you? Do you really? Like, my soft skills are good, but they still suck, right? Like, there's still times that I like want to lose my crap. There's still people that just drive me nuts, and I'm like, why in the world are we still working together? And there's other people that I'm like, oh my gosh, I love working with this person. But let's talk a little bit about, like, let's just start with building positive relationships. Now, this is gonna be a pretty short podcast slash vlog slash blog slash whatever. But let's talk a little bit about like building positive relationships. How do we do it? How do we build a positive relationship? Like, why is the point of having a positive relationship there? Let's start with, instead of how, let's start with why. Why do we need positive relationships in our life? Well, if everything's negative, what's going to happen to you? You're going to become negative. And when you're negative, what happens? You become authoritative. And when you're authoritative, how does that work for you? Not very well, right? The only time authority works is like if you're a cop trying to get somebody to subdue, and even then it doesn't work. Authority is not the right way to lead ever in any situation. So how do we build a positive relationship? There's a lot of ways that we can do it. One is actually by actively listening to what the others have to say to build rapport. So we don't just listen to talk, we listen to listen. And what I mean by listening to listen is like we actually take time to listen to others to hear what they have to say. And then when they're done speaking, then we can add in. We don't try to cut them out. We don't actually just listen for a little bit and we start thinking about our answer, right? We listen to everything they have to say. We actively listen to them. So that's like the easiest way to build a positive relationship is just by active listening. And then another way is by applying the principle of appreciation and recognition. That means like recognizing somebody for what they've done and appreciating what they've done for you as well. Let's say that somebody makes cupcakes and you love cupcakes. You can show appreciation by going, man, thanks for making those cupcakes. They were really delicious. Oh man, your decorating, your animal faces on those looked absolutely amazing. Oh, I absolutely love the way that you took initiative in building that picture frame. Oh, I absolutely love the way that you took initiative in calling these people. Oh, thanks for letting me know that you're not going to be to work on time, right? Like, whatever. So that's like that's one good way to build a positive relationship. Okay. Now let's kind of move on to the second one. Let's talk a little bit about the power of smiling and showing genuine interest. Now those two kind of go together. So smiling, why is smiling so important? Let me ask you a question. If you're listening to this podcast right now, am I smiling or am I frowning? It's really not that hard to tell when someone smiles, is it? Just the change in their voice makes such a huge difference whenever you smile because your vocal cords are stretched. They go up a quarter octave. You sound happy. You're upbeat. But when you frown, it's really hard to tell what's going on. Like you almost get the feeling like a cold feeling as I'm talking to you. Almost shivers almost went down your body because I went to a frown. But whereas when I'm smiling when I talk to you, you can definitely tell that there's a difference in my tone. It's a little more upbeat. It's more sunshiny. You just felt that cold leave your body. The chill's gone, right? If you're watching this, you can tell exactly whenever I go to smiling and not smiling. But smiling is huge. And talking, smiling when you talk on the phone, smiling when you talk on a camera, smiling when you talk to others is huge. So I want you to practice smiling as you talk to people. That's going to be the biggest thing that you can do for some of these soft skills and how to really get better at it. Okay. Now, showing genuine interest, that's like actually, again, listening to listen. It's listening to somebody and showing genuine interest in their life. Oh, well, tell me a little bit about what it took to make these cupcakes. And then listening to them. Not cutting them out and going, oh, yeah, well, I made cupcakes 10 years ago and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. And oh, my gosh. That's retarded. Don't do that. Right? It's not about how good you do. It's not I'm just going to say this. It's not a pissing match, guys. It's not about that. You know what it's about? It's about listening to them and empowering others. If somebody comes in and does something and they do it so freaking wrong, you're like, oh my God, why'd you spend so much time on this? Just give me the structure. Just give me the data. I don't need you to spend 2 hours on a stupid presentation. Give me the data. I want the data. Give me the hard data, right? Like, that's what I want. That's not showing interest. That's not showing appreciation or interest in them. If they talk about how their kid is starting school and they're super excited about their kid starting school, that's showing interest in them. If their kid was sick and you ask how their kid was doing, that's showing interest in them. It's showing that you actually care. So doing those two things, smiling and actually showing genuine interest in somebody else, is another huge for it. I'm going to bounce down here to the bottom. Being a great conversationalist. So there's a bunch of techniques you can use for chatting in a conversation. And one of those is just being friendly, not being too formal, not being too upright, having that casual tone, that demeanor. If I come in and I stand here with my arms on my shoulders and we have a conversation about, I don't know, DOT and let's say truck driving and leadership and accounting and books and taxes and all this good stuff. You're not really listening. You kind of stopped listening a minute ago, didn't you? Let's be honest. You were like, Dan? But that's not Dan. Like, I don't want to listen to this guy. When I talk to you like this, you're like, oh, wow. That's really interesting, Dan. I'd love to know more about taxes. Right? So the way you talk to people makes a huge difference in the world. And just being conversational with them is really big. And you guys, it's not that hard. You talk to them just like you're talking to a friend. And I know a lot of you are like, well, I get really nervous. Well, shake the nerves off. Pretend like you're talking to your friend. Pretend like you're talking to somebody you know. Whenever you're on stage, whenever you're on camera, whenever you're talking to anybody, whenever you're leading a group, just talk to them. Whenever you're talking to just one person in general, don't be all stiff and rigid. Let your body relax a little bit. Smile. Be there. Be there to listen, okay? So we've talked a little bit about a lot of soft topics, and we could continue to go over some of this stuff as we move forward. But I'm going to wrap it up for today. We're a little ways into this. I'm trying to keep these pretty short, just because for lack of time on my end for recording, if I'm being real honest. I've really enjoyed recording these podcasts. We're going to continue to record them. We're not giving up, but we got to keep moving with it. We can't give up on it. So I'm trying to give you guys as much information as possible. If you guys like this, you should give us a review. You should rate it. If you didn't like it, what are you doing still listening here? Get out of here. Go find a better podcast. There's a million out there. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a podcast on podcasts. And you're going to be like, this podcast on podcasts. Well, you're going to listen to one in the near future to find out. All right. I'll chat with you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.